And I've already taken my other shirt off. They've
Oh,
asked me to turn the fan on, but
oh
we'll see how
no,
it goes.
we know what's coming.
Hmm. One moment, please. And this is a time of rejoicing. This is a time of excitement. This is a time of happenings happening. And we are so glad that you came to experience this with us, even though we weren't announced in a more social platform. We were well within our boundaries, and he knew we were coming in. Uncle Ray knew we were coming in. But there were other beings who were vying for a spot in this heart-filled spotlight, we will say. And we are helping them. Everyone on our end is so excited about the book, about the book, about the book. It has energies galore. And it will reach out, and people will be amazed at all of the things that we have shared. And even those of you who are here now and who will watch and who may listen will be surprised at some of the things which come out because all of you have not heard all of those sessions. You have not heard all of those wonderful, loving things which have popped out of our little hybrid children mouths. And it is a bit of irony that all of these big thoughts, and in some ways, come out of our little mouth and come out of his big mouth. But that is another way which we can help him. And we will help him to tone it down a bit at times. And, well, not so much us, because that is not really what we do. We want people to be excited, 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 and amp it up, amp it up, amp it up. But there will be other beings, teachers and watchers and his guides and the other channeled entities, which are hanging around all the time, those lovely beings, and they will help to remind him and to keep him on his path. Not exactly the straight and narrow, because it's kind of hard to have the straight and narrow while you're dancing all the time. And he will do more of that. And just don't expect it to be professional grade. But we too are blessed to have all of you making a presence. And we urge you all to come back and channel and bring us a message as well. For if you give Uncle Ray a message and it's about us, then he will be hard pressed to put it in the book because he cannot leave that type of love frequency out. That would be not so nice, but it just will not serve because that frequency, that love, that heart energy is all over inside that book, and you can add to it. And the more love energy in there, the more it resonates and the more it ripples. And ripples in many ways, not just heart to heart, but in mind to mind, in communication to communication, in telepathy, telepathy, and vocalization, and to humans and not humans alike. For it will cause a stir, and we will be a phenomenon. And this is raising awareness of how special we are. And while we have written more of the book than he has, it is fine that we get some credence for that. And we do get honorable mention, we will say. But we want royalties of the heart. That's what we wish. We want royalties of the vibration. We want that acknowledgement. We want people to emulate us because that's what will get us there. That's what will get us into those high fives. And we can do those huggy things with humans, and they won't run away, and they won't be overloaded with our energies. And we look forward to coming before you in a more physicalized fashion as well. But that is up to you. That is up to you. You will have opportunities, for it won't be that long. It won't be that long. And if you have something for us, then we will in turn have something for you. And if not, then we will take that as a loving silence and we will see what we can do with it. But for now, help yourselves.
Um, I have a question that I asked Uncle Ray earlier, but maybe you can explain further. The term hybrid children um, denotes a particular age for us humans. What does it mean for you? And I asked, do you age? Um, how does that all work?
Well, there are several answers to that. For anything which is physicalized has been designed to have a certain lifespan. And
Okay.
even those things which you are, and as a reminder, you are not physical. So,
Mm,
in that way, in truth, you never age because
right.
there is no such thing. It is just an illusion that you have all agreed to participate in, just like all of the other physicalized beings, even
Mhm,
down to the dust specks on your planet. They all have consciousness and dreams and experience pleasure and not so pleasurable in ways. But yes, once we become physicalized, we will age differently.
mhm,
For we do grow in ways. That is part of our consciousness. That is part of our plan. That is part of our mission. Because we have to assume a certain size and a certain, not vibration, because that is pretty much steady. That is steady love. But we have to achieve an educational level which will allow us to be the masters of our experiences once we become planetside.
mhm,
Because we have to. And even though that will freak out a lot of adults to have, some little 12-year-old telling them how to arrange their technology and how to implement all of these changes, when they will say, oh, well, I've been doing this for 50 years. Well, yeah, but are the beings who trained us have been doing this for 100,000 years. So you just sit down, Buster, and pay attention. Hmm.
Good point. Good
Hmm.
point. I
But
am so looking forward to doing the huggy things that you mentioned.
that amps us up. That amps us up. But yes, and we will not really grow old like humans do because humans grow old because they think they're going to grow old. They
Mhm,
think, oh, old, that means brittle and saggy and taking a bunch of pills and having people repeat things and yell at us because we have hard ears. They just don't seem to work like they used to. And but that will not be the case so much because your appearances will be different. The people or the children who are born now will not have to look all wrinkly and will not have to suffer those what you consider old age stuff that happens to their bodies, hardening of the arteries, and this goes wrong and this goes wrong. No, you can fulfill and live a wonderful, wonderful life and not have all of those. Now, there will still be mishaps, and people will still have bumps and bruises and other things, but their their bodies and their minds can remain in a relatively newer state, we will say. And then when their time is up, they will merely transmit or transform and go back to spirit. But
mhm,
that does not mean that their bodies will be used up. They will just be different. And they will show signs of aging, but not near as fast. Maybe not they will age more than half as fast, but not three-quarters as fast as what you do now, is what humans expect.
mhm,
They will maintain a youthful appearance, we will say. So you will think, oh, well, you look like you're 25 years old. Well, thank you, because I just had my 55th birthday. But the birthdays will not be so important either, because it is the awareness and the fulfillment which will be more markers of your experience, the things which you have encountered, which you have overcome, the challenges which you have achieved a certain of level of accomplishment by overcoming them. And it will be the ideas which you have brought forth and the creations which you have made, which will signify your aging. not so much the passing of the calendar, which is based on, well, your calendars are illogical. They're based on people wanting to say, oh, my ego. Yeah, I'm so big, I need to have a month named after me. Oh, well, you had a month named after you. I'm going to have a month named after me, too. And it's going to be just as long as yours. And all of a sudden, no, now you got 12 months. That doesn't fit. But that's okay. You can change those any way you'd like. You will change your whole world. You'll change your perceptions, you'll change your processes, you'll change your perspectives on how you view things. Not even, I mean, besides even on your planet, the things which you view about the unknown. You will no longer fear the unknown, but you will welcome the unknown because you know you will have faith that it will serve you. It will be marvels. It will be wonderful things which are coming. Like a present, everything will be wrapped up in fine gift wrap, which is ecologically friendly. And you can unwrap it and you will say, oh my gosh, I knew it was going to be something wonderful. And it may not be just what you wanted, but you will say, it's just what I needed
Mhm.
because it
Mhm.
will flow. Your synchronicities will be the rule of the day. And you
Wonderful.
can unwrap that gift for us anytime.
I have one more question.
Woohoo, bonus day.
What are you looking forward to doing most when you first get to Earth?
Everything.
Oh,
Well,
yes, I can
but
feel that. I can
but
feel that.
but
But
you have to understand that we do not have the human expectations. We are looking forward to fulfilling our missions to the best of our abilities. And and that is all colored in the framework of loving and sharing and learning and loving and
Mhm.
sharing and learning and loving and sharing and learning. And you can keep saying that over and over and over, and it will be true. But we know that everything that happens to us will flow and it will be relevant for us. That's what we look forward to, experiencing more of what we are for, what we are created for. Just like you, all of you humans are made of parts. You're not biological, you're energy beings assuming a role
Mhm.
like we are. But that role is important because it helps other beings learn. It it aids others, and you are master teachers in ways, and you have no idea because there are literally beings hanging on your every word and saying, oh my gosh, they came from darkness and now they have this realization. Fantastic. We can do that too. They may not do it just like you do, there are so many hands in this. We won't say fire, our hands are cooks in the touching the broth or so, but it is a miracle what you are doing, what you have chosen to do, and you have come here to be part of. It is the best party in town. Another book, another book, another book.
Yes. A new title. Very good. Thank
That's
you
the
so
coloring.
much.
That's the coloring book.
Thank you so much for this interaction. You're always such a joy.
Woo!
We
Next,
are
please.
so
Somebody ring the
happy.
bell.
We are so happy to see you. You are always joyful. Um, is there a particular protocol for who you will be with when you come to the Earth Mother?
That is, well, yes and no. There are lots of them actually. But think of it like this. And this came through in a channeling with Benicia, who is one of our teachers. Well, that's not the name, but that's the name that they gave because the name that they assume is not really a name, it's more of a frequency. And that's why they can't pronounce it because you can't pronounce frequency other than you can pronounce the word frequency. But it is when we come, we are waiting for the pool to be warm enough, the pool of humanity, so we can go swim in it. And when we come, it'll be mighty chilly. And it will warm up in pockets, some more than others. But that is what we will have to wait for. When it gets to the right temperature, the right vibrational temperature, then we can stick our toe in. And sometimes we might pull it back out, and then we might go in a little bit deeper. And sometimes we will bring toys and we will ask people to join us. But there will be enclaves. There are special places which are set aside, and those are protected. Those are protected. Yes, and nobody wants to wrestle with a Sasquatch who is protecting a hybrid children. You can trust us on that. And that will not be the only one. They will say, oh my gosh, I know where they're at. We're going to go get them. And then they'll say, how did I get here? This is not what I remember. And where are my stuff? Where's my stuff? And there will be some of that. But that's okay. We're not here to harm people, and they aren't here to harm people. But there we know that they have ways, and that in a way is kind of humorous because it will not turn out the way that their plans are intended. But that we hope that we, in a roundabout way, got an answer to you that you are satisfied with. But if not, please ask another one. We'll play.
Thank you.
And yes, there will be some humans which will be allowed. Some of the parents, our keepers, our guardians of some of the hybrid children on your earth will then migrate towards us. And their signatures, their energy frequencies, and their intents will be known, and they will be accepted because in ways they will already be acclimated, or at least partially, to handle our vibration. And Uncle Ray will get to join us. Uncle Ray will get to join us because that is one of his roles that he has signed up for. And it is a no deposit, no return. He cannot go back now. And he doesn't want to go back. He wants to enjoy. But it will be a demanding job. And, well, we call it a job because it will be a task, but it's not really a job. It's an adventure of the heart. It's an adventure of the soul. It is a joy-filled, fun time. But it is going to be taxing in ways too. That's a better explanation. But it's so fun. It's coming. We're coming. We're coming. We're coming. We're coming.
Do you have any other messages for this group?
Well, not so much for the group, but for your entire planet.
Okay.
It's the same message that the ancestor grandmothers had. Listen with your heart. Act with your heart. Think with your heart. Be with your heart. Let it take the forefront. Hold it in your hands. Get a cardboard heart or one of your Valentines and hold it out and say, I am leading with my heart. Can you see it? And then set the example which backs that up. Because that will change things. That will change people. When they see people who are acting out and helping others, it will stir something inside them. We can do that. I can do that. That was so nice. I feel so good about that. Let's go out and help somebody now. That will be a chain reaction.
Yes.
We're looking forward to that because it all raises the vibration. And that means we get to come in sooner.
Thank you.
He might need that fan after all. But that's his choice. And if that was it, then we'll go back to our studies. We have done all of the, well, not all of the big cats have been adjusted, we will say. And now we are working on your equines, your horses. We are integrating with them so they can handle more energies. We're doing it species by species. And the cetaceans were already done before we got here, before we were even a thought, for the most part, in your linear way of thinking. But most of the big kitties are already done. And we will work down to some of the more mobile mammals on your planet and some of the avians as well, the aves classifications, your birds, because they are all joined together in many ways. And while they do have their hierarchies, which have been part of the plan, we will say, of bringing them in, because some things hunt other things, and some creatures think that baby birds are tasty. And sometimes it is to keep the numbers down so they don't hurt themselves by overfeeding or reducing the numbers of other things which have a vital role in your environments, in your ecosystems. So it is not ever a bad thing. It is just one of the things which will be easier to control. Because even lots of critters will find that they have just enough babies that they don't need to have all of their youngs be eaten or die or things of that nature. And there will be plenty of everything for everyone. It will be a new way of living for all consciousness on your planet. It has never happened before except in the dream state, and dreams do come true. You are going to live the dream, and we'll be in it. And you'll never wake up. You'll never wake up. Ooh, okay. Sounds like playtime is over. We're going to go back and ride that horsey. We don't ride him. Although we might when we get here. But that's a story for another day. But they won't need bridles or saddles. We'll be their friend. They will take care of us. Oh, they're funny. Yeah, I had a picture of them riding bareback. Didn't even bother to hang on to the mane or anything. They're just so trusting.
I think it's pretty cool that they're working with the horses. That
Yeah, well,
is
and
very cool.
they told me earlier, that, hey, we're going around to all of the animals, and they're not
Mhm,
working on them by region, they're working on them by species.
mhm. And what exactly did they say they're upgrading or working on?
Well, humans are going to be able to communicate
Ah,
with all of the animals. It's a
awesome,
Dr. Dolittle phase.
awesome, awesome, awesome. That
But
needs to happen.
yes, I mean, and you know, why would you need to have a zoo when
Right,
you can reach out and you can get that experience? You'll have the
right,
a knowing about the animal instead of just visual and reading something about them.
right, right,
So those things will not be necessary anymore.
right,
So there's going to be lots of buildings and land that can be repurposed for other things because they won't be necessary any longer.
right. And it's a way for us to see the divinity and the consciousness in animals and plants and creatures that we just take for granted.
Well, and it's more feeling and sensing than it is seeing.
Mhm.
But yes, I know what you mean, and you're all right. You are correct. I still think back to them wanting to come through in the Denver airport. Or no, while I was in the St. Louis airport getting ready to fly to Denver. Let us come through. Let us amp these people up. And I'm thinking, security would be called so fast. We have this old guy who's up and dancing and trying to get other people to put their electronics down. Are you
You
causing a
don't need that kind of attention.
are you causing a disturbance, sir? We're not a sir, but yes, we are. It's our purpose. Like, wow. Yeah. I think I'd rather make my flight, but thank you. That's the only time so far that I've ever turned them down or not followed their suggestion.
I kind of think they knew what they were doing and that you would turn them down. They were
It's
just jerking your chain.
it's certainly a good story. It made its way into the book. So yeah, and nobody ever tells them to tone it down about the book. They just get so excited about it, but they don't have to deal with all of the 3D people out here either.
And I think they want a little footnote credit in there.
Yeah, well, they'll be in the acknowledgments, and it says that, there's a part in there where I explain, that, hey, this book was co-written by them and by many other entities,
Mhm.
and not just the ones who were channeled, but there are others who are supporting this energetically and guiding me. I mean, I'm not a big fan of editing. That's kept me from doing hardly anything and compiling all of the stuff I've written. I mean, I've been writing for over 30 years,
Wow.
and I have hundreds and hundreds of files with all kinds of different stuff. But on this, I mean, I think I edited 30 something pages today.
Wow.
And it just picked me up and it just flowed because every time I would read something, it pops into my head, well, this needs to be rephrased like this. And no, you have this comment, you have this comma here, and it can be removed. And no, this sentence shouldn't start with and. That should be part of this sentence that you just did. And it was being guided the whole way.
Wow.
And I was just loving it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a joy. It's not a task that I don't enjoy.
Mhm.
It's not boring and work and tedious. It was uplifting, and that's never happened before, but it's because of the energies that, are behind this.
And you're in the flow.
Very much so. The goal was to have it done by 31st
Wow.
so I could send it off to George, the editor, and it'll be published in March.
Mhm.
And then right after that, the spaceship sightings they'll be coming fast and strong. I mean, eventually there will be a spaceship sighting of the day, that kind of stuff.
Mhm. Mhm. Wow.
And that's one of the things that Bashar said recently in his last transmission was that will be part of our, the news in some areas.
Mhm.
Well, we saw how many ships did we see today? There'll be people who are doing counts. There's an app right now where you can upload your video of that kind of stuff. And there's Facebook pages saying, "Hey, if you have a sighting or an experience, let us know."
Right. Right. Very cool.
It is. And I think it's cool in a way that I don't care about any of that. I mean, I just know that it's going to happen.
Mhm.
But I don't need the details or anything like that. I have my own path.
Right.
I mean, I get to ride in one. Why do I care about who gets to see one? You know? The Pleiadians already took me on theirs, but I have no memory of that. I just knew that I lost an hour or so.
Mhm.
At one point, it was like early on, it was like the third time I connected with them. I was going through like I had a live wire and I was doing all this shaking. And next thing I knew, I was petting my dog. And I'm like, hold on. That's not the way this works. Where did all that time go? And then I asked Anthony Anonica about it. And when he was channeling the Pleiadians, he's like, do you want to know where you went? And I'm like, where I asked him, what happened, and he's answered me, yeah, I'd like to know. They took you to their ship.
Right. And Sparkling had shared something with me earlier that she was wondering about her missing hour in something like what you had experienced. She was wondering if she had gone on a ship or had an encounter or something. I wish she had asked the question a little um, more clearly than she asked. It was too vague. Um, so I was going to put something in the chat to her, to very ask the question specifically what she wanted to know, and she disappeared right after that. So I was
Well,
not able to. But
well, and
um,
what came to me as soon as you said that was a message for all of us
mhm,
is trust your experiences.
okay,
Don't wonder about those things because what comes to you will be the reality which it is. And if you let your mind color it differently, then you'll get confused. It confuses you about, well, this is what I know happened, but maybe it's like, no, that's not the way it works. This is the way I think it happened. Then stop.
right.
That's where your heart comes in. And then when your mind comes in, override it.
Mhm,
That's why people, they get bonked on the head. They
mhm,
didn't follow their intuition. They say, I knew I should have taken the other way. I knew he was going to screw me over. I knew blah,
mhm,
blah, blah. You know,
mhm,
I knew I was going to get a ticket or whatever it might be because they were told and didn't listen.
right.
We get the consequence, just like lots of other things in our life. We
Mhm,
don't listen, we get the consequence. But if you listen, that's why I've made a career of listening,
mhm,
no matter what. It doesn't have to make sense, but my mind doesn't even come up with a secondary thing anymore. I
mhm,
mean, I won't say ever, because sometimes it does, and sometimes, but it's always on little things, because when I get that communication, I'm just following it.
mhm, mhm.
It got me here,
Yeah.
where I'm supposed to be.
One of the things that humans do is they listen to be able to answer something.
Mhm,
They don't listen to understand what they're hearing. And I think that Sparkling knows where
Hmm.
where that went, but that's something that she's gonna have to be comfortable with in making her own determination of
mhm,
what happened.
And I
right.
think it's great, and that's a good point, but I think it's great that all of the indigenous ways are coming back
Mhm,
because those are of Gaia. And when the question came up about, is that light language?
mhm,
In my experience, all of the indigenous languages have a specific resonance of truth to them.
I
There's not deceit in them,
right.
because even if they have like the Eskimos have like 30 or more words for snow,
Mhm,
but they have one word for bird
mhm,
because that's all they need. They don't
mhm,
consider penguins birds because, like Arctic tern or whatever it might be, but that's not what's important to them because that just communicates, oh, well, this flying part of Mother Nature.
mhm,
But snow makes a difference to them
mhm,
because it determines how they go and where they go and what they wear. So they have all of these other words for it. But even though all of the languages are different, they resonate with the truth
mhm,
and they don't embellish.
mhm,
And like one of the things, I was touched when I learned this, that the goal in battle, the greatest honor was to touch the enemy and to have somebody else on your side see it and then to relay that story because you were never supposed to brag on yourself. You just
mhm,
kept quiet about that. But it wasn't to kill, it wasn't to steal, it was to be able to touch the enemy in battle. So he knew
mhm,
that you had power over him,
mhm,
that you could have done something and you didn't.
mhm,
And that's their greatest victory. And
right.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. because the white man came and they like, oh, well, if we slaughter all their horses, then that'll really hurt them. And it's like didn't understand any of that. They didn't understand land ownership.
Right.
But all of those ways are coming back because
Mm.
our boundaries are all going to disappear.
Mhm.
It's going to be one Earth. Where are you from? Earth, Milky Way,
Right.
and that's all that we need. You know, Mother Earth, if you want to go that route,
Mhm.
it's wonderful. And that really resonates with me. I mean, I know I've had indigenous lives before, but
It'll be heaven on earth. What we all are wishing for and hoping for.
well, it'll be closer to an earthly heaven
That's well
because
put.
yeah, because that's doable,
Mhm.
you know, but you can't say, oh, well, because the heaven itself has so many connotations to it.
Mhm.
And it's just another expression of source, but it's tainted by words,
Mhm.
just like hell. I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, I'm like, you're going to hell. Well, as soon as it's invented, I'll check it out. But, you know, I know it doesn't exist.
Mhm.
You know, this is as close as we're getting because this doesn't exist either.
Mhm.
Well, my invisible's better than your invisible. Oh, okay. I can see that, pun intended. And thank you all for adding your energy. And the Andromedans will just have to come in another day. Yeah, they'll wait. I mean, they're outside of time, so
Right?
they can insert themselves at any point.
Mhm. Well, thank you, Ray. This has been a wonderful evening. Thank
And
you.
thank you all. And I learned a lot tonight,
Mhm.
you know, about my future path and not really hiding myself, but not flaunting it either.
Mhm.
That's it's how ironic is that? I've waited all this time to shine brightly, and then I have to walk around with a lampshade on all the time.
You'll shine brightly for those that are ready.
Yep, it'll be fun. It already is fun, but it's going to be a lot more fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you all so much.